Hello guys and welcome to a new episode of Loibners lecture. Today we're going to continue our lecture about intents, and we will also take a look at the list view in Android so that we see how to display something using the list view without using the recycler view. So this is kind of a legacy version of doing it, but for very simple applications I think it makes sense to use the list view here because it's less overhead than using the recycler view. Before we start, I want to mention that this video is part of my lecture at the Higher Technical School of Kaindorf in Austria. Okay guys, so this is where we stopped last time. We had the activity 1, we had the activity 2. We could send some text to that one and we could send some text also back. And today we will just use the activity result launcher, but we will not focus on sending any values back. We will just send it to the activity because both of the ways are just the same in that case. But what we want to focus on today is how to send your own objects, because for doing that we have to change a little bit some things. So let's just create a person class, and we're using this class person here to send it from activity 1 to activity 2. And our person just has some name. The person has some age, and we also define a local date to be our birth date. We're creating a constructor, and in the constructor we only pass the name. So the name is what we said, and just for simplicity, which is assume the age is 30 here, and the birth date is just local date dot now. So we're just taking whatever day we have today. It's fine. It's just for testing reasons. We don't have to do anything. That's perfectly how it should work out. What I want to do is I want to enter the name of the person in the text field here in the main activity, and when clicking on the on open button I want to grab the value. That's that one here. Let's rename that to name. I'm getting rid of the things that we did last time here because they are not important anymore. So what I want to do here is create a new person equals new person. That's the person that we have. And now I just want to send it back, and we just have to enter the name here. Okay, so what we do is we're going to send a person to the second activity and just displaying it there. That's what we want to do, and therefore we have to create an intent as we always did. So new intent where we say, okay, the activity is the second activity class, and then we are just put extra, and we just say person here and person there. And then we find out that there is some error. We're using the launcher to launch it. And what does it say? It says us cannot resolve method put extra string person cast second argument to parcelable. And this is what we're going to do now. We have this parcelable interface, and we can just go to our person class and we can implement this interface here, Parcelable, which makes it sendable for the Android application. And we have to implement some methods. So two methods here. We have the method describe contents, which we currently don't care about because we do not have to describe anything of what we do here. And then we have the right to parcel. And usually what we do in there is we have to implement exactly how the different values are being packed and then unpacked again. But IntelliJ helps us a lot because we can just hover over person and we can add the implementation, because what we do not have right now is the creator field. And if we click on add implementation, a lot of things are happening right now. So the first thing that happened is that we receive, or that a creator was produced for us. And we have a create from parcel here, which means, okay, return a new person from that parcel. And we also can return a new array. So which means we will also be able to send an array of persons with that implementation. So we don't change anything in here. Then we have a new constructor, a protected one called person. For sure, it's the constructor. And as a parameter, we have the parcel. So which means if we're going to take the packet that was sent to the second activity and create the person object out of it, we're doing exactly that. So we are saying name equals in.readString and age equals in.readInt. But we're missing the local date. And the thing for that is that Parcelable, so the automated creation here, is only done for primitive data types. So for primitive data types and wrapper classes, and also for string in that case, but for example, not here for our local date. And down there we have the write to parcel, which is the step when packing it into the package. So we write the name and then we write the age, but also here we're missing the local date. And this is the thing that you have to do by hand. And when it comes to doing that, it's very important that the order of packing it is the same as the order of unpacking it. So if you're first packing the name, you have to first unpack the name. Second thing has to be the age. Second thing has to be the age. And now the third thing is going to be our date. And we don't have a write date here, but we have a write long. And we can use a method from birth date that's called get what? Okay, we cannot say get long. I think that's not a good idea. But there is a method that's called, so where is it? I'm not finding it. I think it's a to method. It's, where is it? At time, it's not a time. I think it's to epoch day. I think it's that one. Let's just check what that one's doing here. Yeah, so that's one. So we're going to use the to epoch day, which just gives us a long, and we can write it as a long there. And up here we can say our birth date is equal to local date dot of epoch day, and then we can just use in dot read long, and this helps us to write our date. Okay, so make sure to understand that we have to implement the Parcelable interface, which creates us some things there, especially the creator, a new constructor for creating the element out of the packet, the describe contents method, and the write to parcel method, which is packaging it. So these are the most important things to remember here. And now if we go back to the main activity, our error is gone and we can continue with our programming. So if we come to the second activity, we are grabbing the intent. That's great. We have to check if there is a person. And down here, we can now just do the grabbing of the data. So what we do is we say person is equal to intent dot get, and now we have to call the method get parcelable extra. And you see we have two parameters. So the first parameter is the element, which is person here. And the second parameter, and that's very important, is the class information, so that it knows which class to take for passing it back. And we're saying person.class. So this is what's being returned. And if, just to make sure nothing happens, person is unequal to 0, we're just using the TV data 2, we are setting the text and we're just using person.toString, which will not work out properly. So maybe let's just use some very cheap toString method here. I think that should work out. And let's try to call it. Let's try to run it. So what happens? We are going to add a name here, for example, John. Open second activity, and it gives us the person. The name is John, the age is 30, and the birth date is the 5th of November 2025, which is today's date. So that's perfectly fine. So that's how it should be working, and that's also how it is working. Great, guys. So this is also working in the other way around. So if you want to send something back, just do it in the same way. In the second activity, instead of, you can just use put extra here, and then when you return in this onReturn method, you can just use once again the get parcelable extra method to grab all the things. This is pretty cool. So remember, if you want to send your own objects, make sure to implement the parcelable interface to do it in that way. Now we're going to take a look at the list view, because this is the second part of today's session here, of today's lecture, and therefore we have to rearrange what we do a little bit. So I think we're going to, what shall we do? Oh, maybe let's do it with the activity result launcher so that we can do it into both directions. So we're going to the second activity, and we're just turning it around now. So instead of sending data to the second activity, we're going to send back person data. So we say we're sending back some person data, and the person that we are sending is just that one there. Okay, so we're sending that person back with the name that we have in there. In our main activity down there, we're checking if the result is okay, if the person data is there, and then we're just grabbing the person by saying intent.get parcelable extra, the person, and for sure person.class. Great, that's it. And now we're creating a list up here. So private array list person. This is our data list, and we're going to initialize it down here. So data list equals new array list. And whenever we're getting a person back, we are putting it into the list. So data list.add person. And everything that we see in here, we want that to be displayed in a list. So what we do is we go to our main activity. We're getting rid of this TV data here. And instead of doing that, we're going to legacy, and we're taking the list view and just put it in there. This is what we're getting. We have to set some ID here. I'm not sure if that's that one. Yeah. So we have to say ID LV data. So this is what it is about right now. And now we're setting the whole thing up. I just have to make sure that we're not using the TV data anymore, because that's not to be used anymore. Do we use it somewhere else? No. Okay, so let's try to get it in here. So list view, LV data. So this is the same procedure as for all the other objects and elements that we just grabbed. So for all the other views, it's always find view by ID, and then it's the list view data. Great. So now we just have to connect this data or this list that we have here with the list view, and this is done by just using an adapter. And this is kind of the same as you would do it in JavaFX. So we're just creating some adapter here that we need, and this is a so-called array adapter, and it's array adapter of of the type person. It's just adapter here. And this adapter is being initialized also in the create method. So we say adapter is equal to new array adapter. And inside the brackets here, we can pass some things, or we have to pass some things. So first of all, we're going to pass the context that we're currently in. Then we have to define the, how to say, the layout for the different items in our list. And there is one that we can use, and it's somewhere there in the R class, layout simple, and it's a simple list item 1. So this is the one that we're going to use. And then we're just connecting it to our list. So it's data list. And finally, what we do is we set the adapter for our list. So it's set adapter, and then we're using the adapter here. So guys, we need 3 things. We need our list view, which is that one here. We need an adapter, and we need a list. All of these things are being initialized. So we're initializing the list, we're initializing the list view, and also the adapter. When initializing the adapter, we are already connecting it to the list, and then we have to set the adapter to our list view. And this is basically how it works out, okay? And let's see what this is doing when we're running it. So we're just going to the second activity. Yeah, we're sending that person there, and now we're just adding, let's say, John here. We're returning, but we do not see anything in our list. And the problem is, and this is important, you cannot forget that one. In JavaFX, we were working with observable lists, which was pretty easy because when updating the list view automatically was updated too. That's not working here because we're using a normal array list and we have to update it on our own. So whenever changing something in the list, we just have to notify the adapter that something changed. So we call the method notify dataset changed. And when doing that, we make sure that the adapter once again grabs all the data from the list and then displays it in there. So once again, if we go to the second activity, we're entering some value, we're returning, and now we have a person here in our list. And it's also clickable, and you can do something on click or whatever. So let's go back to the second activity. Let's use another one here. So for example, it's Anna, return. Now we have a second person in there. Now it's Anna here. We can do a third one. Let's say it's Charlie. And now we also have a Charlie in there. You can sort this by just sorting your list and then calling the notify dataset changed again. So this is it all about the list view in Android. I think it's not that hard. It's pretty simple. So yeah, I think this is already the end for today. So we talked about intents using the Parcelable interface, and we also learned about the list view to be used in here. I hope, guys, that you learned something new and you also enjoyed it today. And yeah, if you like this video, please leave a like for the video, comment if you have questions, if you want to see some other content, please feel free to leave me some comment there. And if you do not want to miss any upcoming of the episodes, I would be happy if you also subscribe my channel. So thank you very much, guys, for watching, and see you again. Bye.